Once, in a quiet little village, there lived a boy named Armin. He wasn't special, at least that's what everyone thought. Not the top of his class, not great at sports, just average. But inside his heart, something always felt heavy, like he was carrying a jar full of invisible weight. Every day after school, he walked home slowly, his thoughts louder than the world around him. He wanted to do better, to be better, but no matter how hard he tried, he always felt like he wasn't enough. One afternoon, as the sun painted the classroom gold, Armin noticed an empty glass jar lying on his teacher's desk. He kept staring at it, maybe because it looked exactly how he felt inside, empty. Just then, his teacher, Mr. Raymond, walked in. "Still here, Armin?" he smiled. Armin hesitated. "Sir, what's this jar for?" Mr. Raymond's eyes softened. "Ah, this jar? It's a small secret of life." He placed it in the center of the table. "Watch closely." He began dropping large stones into it, one by one. Soon, the jar looked full. "Is it full?" he asked. The students laughed. "Yes, sir, it's full." He smiled. "Is it really?" He poured in small pebbles. They slid into the empty spaces. "Now," he asked again. The laughter grew louder. "Now it's full." But Mr. Raymond wasn't done. He lifted a handful of sand and poured it in slowly. Tiny grains filled every small gap. The jar now looked completely full. "And now?" he asked with a grin. "Yes," everyone shouted. "Completely full." But then, he lifted a glass of water. Drop by drop, he poured it into the jar. The water soaked through the sand until it overflowed slightly. The room went silent. Mr. Raymond looked around. "This jar," he said softly, "is your life. The big stones are your most important things. Your family, your dreams, your health, your peace. The pebbles are smaller things, your work, your hobbies. And the sand, that's the small stuff. The distractions that fill your days." He looked directly at Armin. "If you fill your jar with sand first, you'll never have space for the big things that truly matter." Something changed in Armin that day. When he walked home, the world looked different. That evening, he found an old jar at home. He cleaned it carefully, placed a few big stones inside, and labeled them family, dreams, health, peace. Then came the pebbles, studies, friends, small goals. Finally, a pinch of sand, tiny joys that make life beautiful. As he set it by his bedside, he smiled for the first time in a long while. The jar wasn't empty anymore, and neither was he. Days turned into weeks. Armin began living differently, slowly, steadily. He studied with focus. He helped his parents without being asked. He didn't rush anymore. He simply balanced. One day, while cleaning the classroom, Mr. Raymond noticed the jar on Armin's desk. He smiled and said, "So, you found your balance." Armin nodded softly. "Yes, sir. I realized the jar was never empty. I just didn't know what to fill it with." The teacher's eyes glistened, and as the last sunlight touched the glass, it sparkled, a symbol of how even an ordinary boy can shine when he fills his life with the right things. Because life isn't about how much you can fit in. It's about what you choose to make space for.